Hey everyone, how's it going? This is cloudchief, and in today's video I wanted to go over for beginners what you should be flagging in your Records of Eminence, so that way you're going to be getting the maximum amount of points, so that way you can obtain gear through sparks and also be able to obtain gil, so you can use gil to pick up any items you might need off of NPCs and even potentially off the auction house as a last resort. So once you've hit level 5 and you start going through and getting trusts, you should be able to clear pretty much everything under basics except for ambuscade and Amintrove. You should be able to have everything under there flagged and you'll have it cleared before too long. Outside of basics under tutorial, I wouldn't really worry about anything else. You can flag for missions and level stuff once you've cleared that, but I would even save that for when you're going through and doing your limit break quests, because that way you can skip to the next quest by leveling up in town and then you're ready to flag the next quest so you have more time out leveling. So I wouldn't worry about that. I would only really focus on clearing things under tutorial and basics. For the next group of Records of Eminence I would flag would be going under combat and then general. And then I would go ahead and flag all the ones that you think you'll be making progress on. If you notice, there'll be something that'll be do between 10 and 20 damage 10 times and stuff like that. So obviously you'll get to higher numbers where it'll be do 500 damage, however many times. You're not going to be doing 500 damage at least until you get to higher levels. So flag any ones that you think that you'll be able to clear starting at low levels, and once you're doing that higher amount of damage, make sure you flag the higher ones. Definitely make sure you're flagging total damage and damage taken. Also flag weapon skills, because you're going to be doing weapon skills. Should be dealing damage and taking damage, even if you're, say, on a mage job. I would only flag the healing ones if you are actually a healer, being either white mage or red mage. Otherwise, I would hold off until you are actually leveling that job to go ahead and flag this. The next group I would go ahead and flag would be under combat and then spoils 1. I would go ahead and flag any crystals that you think you will be getting, or if you know you're farming a certain type of mob and you're seeing a frequent drop, go ahead and flag them. I would definitely make sure you're flagging wind, earth, and water crystals, as those are typically the most frequently dropped crystals. Of course, if you're fighting something that's dropping a lot of fire crystals, make sure you go ahead and flag that. But at least, if nothing else, make sure you have wind, earth, and water flagged, and I honestly would keep them on full time, because you should be obtaining those crystals frequently enough that you're always getting sparks forever for obtaining those types of crystals. I would not bother flagging any of the ites and geodes, because if you were to properly have that, typically that's going to drop depending on the day and or weather. So you would be constantly changing it, and I just don't really think it's worth it. So any of the Titanites or Garudites or any of the geodes, earth geodes, just don't bother flagging them. I just don't think it's worth it. You're better off filling up your Records of Eminence with other quests. You could go under Spoil 2 and flag stuff, but I would not really flag too many things unless you know you're farming a certain type of family of mob that drops stuff. Bat wings is typically good because bats is a frequent enemy that you fight, and if you know you're going to be fighting beetles, flagging beetle shells. If you know you're going to be, say, fighting rabbits, then sure, go ahead and then flag rabbit hides, but make sure that you are fighting a specific family mob that's going to be dropping stuff that you're going to be farming. If you're not really farming that mob, make sure you clear it out if you're going to move on to another area. The next quest that I would make sure I'm flagging would be under combat region, and just to be aware, until you have actually gone to that zone will not pop up under that Records of Eminence. So Basically, when you enter a new zone, when you're, leveling up and making your way through Vanadil, is when you should probably check this and then go ahead and flag that quest. But as soon as you move on to another zone, go ahead and make sure you remove the old one, so that way you're really only taking up one quest slot for whatever region you're fighting in. Also be aware that whenever you clear this quest that's under region, you will get an item for the first time that you clear it. This is typically like an armor or a weapon piece. So that's actually pretty cool. You can get some decent gear from doing these. So definitely make sure that you're flagging whatever region you're fighting in, especially if you're going to be staying there for long, because even after you cleared, it'll automatically reset and you can go through and do it again. But like I said, as soon as you move to a new area, clear out the old one and set the new one. I also would not bother setting the notorious monsters unless you happen to see one and you think you can take it. When you're going through as a new player, you're basically just going to be trying to level up, and you're not going to be trying to fight any notorious monsters. So I think it's a waste of a quest slot unless you're going to be fighting it, or you specifically see that notorious monster. You can then go ahead and flag that quest when you go to fight it. The next set of quests I would go ahead and flag would be under Other and then Daily. I would go ahead and flag Enemies, which is just vanquishing any 30 enemies that gain XP. And then if you are a mage, go ahead and flag buffs, because anytime you cast on any of your trusts, that'll count as one-time buffing. And you actually will get copper vouchers for clearing these once per real life day after the reset of the server. I would not bother setting the heal for over 500 even if you are a healer class, because you're going to be high level before you're curing for 500 plus HP in a single cure. So don't even bother setting this while you're leveling up. And once you actually join a Unity, make sure you go under your Unity and then go under the shared group. And then I would go ahead and flag any of the combat ones, like multiple enemies, and then any of the families that you think you'll be fighting. And then also flag your Unity leader once you can summon your Unity leader. And those are some really easy points. And you can flag these every single day. Every day they will go ahead and change. Plus you can go ahead and say something in your Unity chat, and that is a daily quest that'll happen for just a little bit of points. And those are the Records of Eminence quests that I would flag if I was leveling up a new character. By doing this, you should acquire way more than enough sparks that you can obtain gear, and then even some extra that you can turn around and sell shields for more than enough gil that will support you on pretty much any job going up to 99. So that way you're not dumping a bunch of gil into the auction house. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for supporting the channel, and may you have success in all you do.